Hi, everybody. I'm spiritual medium. Oops. Oh, hi, everybody. I'm spiritual medium Kelly White. John, I did not hear any music.
I didn't
I
either.
heard nothing. So I was like, is it time to go on? I guess it
Yeah.
is. Um,
Welcome to the crazy month of September.
oh, is this month something? Is
Yes,
this something?
already. I mean, it started right before,
Yeah.
the last couple days of August.
Yeah.
Let us know how you're feeling out there, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Because crazy is just about to hit, and it
Yeah,
actually has hit. So it's really been for me, it's been a very challenging day.
yeah.
Unbelievably challenging. And I have a
Mm,
feeling it's going to get way more. It's so funny. I had this little post-it, and it just reminds me life can change at any moment. And
mm-hmm.
it just feels that way right now.
Sure
We're
does.
going into a very intense time. I've talked about this all the time, and I swear I'm not doom and gloom that we all wanted to be here during this great time of inspiration, transformation, all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things that are going on, actually. But right now, what we're feeling, and I'd like to know if other people are feeling this energy. It's kind of a heavier energy, actually, that comes in. And this is Mars gearing up to go retrograde on September 9th. And Mars retrograde is where it gets very focused and very intense, and it means business, and could mean war, it could mean violence, it could mean protesting, it could be anything that causes chaos. It's a very intense, tense feeling, and this is going to last for weeks, actually. This
Mm,
Mars retrograde for weeks into November. And it's a very intense time because it also brings up retrograde is to bring up things from the past. So it will bring up things from your past, the world's past, things to look at, and anything that was suppressed. That's the nature of this. It means repressed anger. So you
mm.
might want to watch your temper. You might want to take a breath. I used to be in the meat business. Don, I know my husband is laughing at this, but seriously, I was. I was a vegetarian in the meat business. Didn't go well for me. Anyway, the reason I mention this is we used to have like a 10-second rule, count to 10 before you
Yeah,
explode.
right.
And that rule is probably now count to like 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I Jennifer says she's already had an intense week trying to keep cool and level. This is the goal is to get us through this very, I haven't used this word in a long time, but gnarly. I'm from the
Yeah,
valley. I'm from the valley. Gnarly, dude. And it is gnarly, it's
yeah.
going to be a very intense time. And it is also for months squaring off with Saturn. And Saturn is the old institutions, it's government, it's the old way to do things, it's mail, it's karma, and it's going to go direct. Actually, I believe that goes direct on the 29th of September. If I have that right. Yep. Oh, wait.
Mm,
No, is that right? Or is it? No. Yeah, that's about right. I think that's right. And when that goes retrograde, yeah, September 29th, it goes direct. And Pluto's I mean, I'm sorry, and Mars is retrograde. Retrograde, and this one, Saturn is going to be direct. Wow, this is like unbelievable. Again, some astrologers call this the battle of the gods
mm.
for a good reason. This is a very intense time, and I'm not even going to go into the Vedic astrology, which I really wanted to go into, but I honestly haven't had time because
Yeah.
of all of my clients. It's been a very, very challenging time for everybody. Barbie says, feeling more on the edge and exhausted than usual. I would agree with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said that. I find myself going to bed early and
Yeah.
hence don't get the astrology report out because I'm tired myself at the
Exhausted.
end of the
Yeah.
night. Well, by the end of the
Yeah.
night, my head is spinning and I'm like, I can't even think anymore. I don't want to think anymore, actually.
Mm-hmm.
On September 23rd and 24th, Mercury squares Saturn, and Mercury is opposes Mars. Very, very intense day. Very
Yeah.
intense two couple of days. September, I guess, should be called the intense month
Yeah.
because it actually is.
I'd be
And
mad actually.
actually, the 9th, the
Yeah.
10th, and 11th, and the 12th coming up is a very intense, very intense few days because at that time we will have 7 planets retrograde for those 4 days, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then a couple of them go direct, but it's going to be a very intense time. And as I mentioned the other day, I think on Monday's show, on September 11th, that date is actually a 33 day in numerology. Very powerful,
Mm.
powerful time. So those 4 days are very powerful. And then as we get into September, it's again the Mercury squaring Saturn, and oh, it's just going to be very, very
Wow.
intense. And then we have another square on September 29th, and that is Mars in Aries and Saturn in Capricorn squaring off. This brings a lot of frustration, a lot of intensity. So, really, what do we want to do here? We want to have to discover how, in this time, to have patience. You know, they used to say patience is a virtue.
Mhm.
And it just, if we can be patient and try not to explode, um, there'll be a lot of emotions that'll go on this month. A lot of emotions. You'll feel it. You're already, we had the big uh, full moon in Pisces yesterday. So that brought in a lot of emotions too.
Mhm.
So this is going to bring up things, and I want everybody to have some peace if they can, when they can. Take a deep breath, in and out. And I took another class, so I'm taking these continuing education classes because I have to right now, so I can renew my license. And they're all due by my birthday in September. So I'm hurrying to get those in. But one of the classes that I took was with Peter Levine, who you've heard Shirley
Sure.
talk about, Dr. Peter
Yeah.
Levine, and he was talking about how trauma. And he's the founder of Somatic Experience. How trauma that we're going through now, and it's traumatic to so many people that we're going through now. Actually, they're getting in touch with the traumas that they had when they were younger, and that is what's going on now with trauma. It's like this energy we're in has heightened everything, so you might be re-triggered by the traumas that you had when you were younger. And what he suggested about that, which I found fascinating, is he said get up and move. I don't
Mm.
mean move your house, probably not a good time right now for that, but it he meant move, physically move, get up and be active. So if you're experiencing trauma or re-experiencing or getting really anxious, get up and move. Get up and move. Talk yourself through it as you're moving. I thought that was a really good piece because it gives your energy something, a place to go, and you just get out. And if you can't get out because you're sequestered and you can't, move in place, move in place.
Right.
Anything to move the energy around. This is something to think about during this time. If you get anxious, just get out. I find myself going outside, looking at the flowers, catching my breath. This is some of the things that you can do. How are you doing to survive, John, during this period, this intensity?
Oh, well, trying to do things that I enjoy,
Hmm.
and sleeping quite a bit as well.
Sleeping, yeah. Sleeping's a good one. I
Yeah,
like that. Sleeping is a good one.
but things I enjoy though,
Yeah.
especially spending time in VR and we've got the Burning Man event going on in VR right now, so that's pretty.
Really?
Yeah, so because they can't meet up physically this year, so they're
Oh,
doing it in virtual reality, and it's pretty amazing because you're taking all these people with the creativity and the interest in spirituality and all of that, bringing them all under one roof and
hmm.
having a pretty incredible time. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's been good. I've been, I told you that September would be a really busy month for that. So
I know. I
so
know
that's
it
what I've been
is.
doing.
Okay.
Because COVID, I think bringing it up, the intensity that you're bringing up about September. I mean, the whole month has been an intense month, and I think it's even more intense when you're doing this on your own, if that makes sense. Like when you're living on your own,
Oh, it'd have to
through
be.
through
Sure.
COVID, because you don't have that physical, tangible
Yeah.
connection that you would normally, help you get through it. So I think that might be a good show to do in the future, is going through COVID when you're living on your own. I mean, thank God I have my
Yeah.
two cats and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I was
That's a
saying
great
I was a
idea.
hermit to begin with, but now I'm a
Mhm.
super hermit as a result of
Mm.
COVID. And thank God I have VR and Zoom and our meetups and this show, and you know what I mean, to maintain and yeah, to hold space
Yeah.
for one another. So
But it's very true. It's very
yeah.
true. And we've been through this for months and months, right? I mean,
Mhm.
since March, really. It's a
Yeah.
long time. And then I'm thinking, whoa, well, we're not done yet. We're just getting out
And March was my
into
birthday,
it.
so that was like the
I know.
beginning of my new astrological year.
It
So it
was.
just brought nothing but intensity. Great
Yeah.
opportunities too, I will have to admit,
Yeah, great
but
opportunities
yeah.
and an intensity.
Mhm.
And it's funny, the period that we're in is much more intense than it was in March.
Yeah.
Just remember that. So the reason I mention that is because I want everybody to know it's not your imagination out there. This is some intense stuff as we head into this
Mhm.
collectively, as we all feel this energy. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tanya says thanks for bringing that up. I mean, it's really true, John. We should do a show like that because it's
Mm,
important for
yeah.
the people that are alone out
I
there.
mean, we've already had a loneliness epidemic, and then you bring in
Yeah,
the
and
then
had
you
this.
bring in the COVID pandemic, and then we've got fireworks, you know what I mean?
So many fireworks about to come. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
fireworks, that's for sure. What a strange place this world is, isn't it? I've been doing a lot of starseed events, not events, sessions with people, that are
Sure.
not from here, and they all kind of have the same thoughts. It's like, what is this place? Like, what kind of a place is this? And I can't agree more.
It's a
It's a
lot of work.
very,
A lot of work
very
here.
intense
Because you have to
place.
work on yourself. I mean, that's
Yeah,
really
you
what.
don't have any choice right now. You
Yes.
have to work on yourself right now.
Yeah.
You don't have any choice. Yeah, it does
No.
come in for that. And I feel my heart really goes out to those parents that are teaching their kids at home right now, because I've had a lot of clients that are doing that. Really rough
Mhm.
on them, really rough, because they're trying to work and take care of the kids and teach and do this. I mean, it's kind of maddening,
Yeah, I
you
know.
know.
I can't imagine.
It's
No.
I mean, everybody's got their story to tell. And honestly, I feel very blessed because I get to
Yeah.
hear everybody's story. And some stories are pretty intense, I
Yeah.
have to say.
Mhm.
But then I move into the next story. I'm like, wow, that's a bad one too.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable. This
I
world is
know.
so interesting. I think what's going to happen now is a lot of things are going to be uncovered. That's what I think. A
Oh,
lot of
most
things will be
definitely.
uncovered.
Oh, yeah. It's already
Yeah.
happening. I mean, look at
Yeah.
all the.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Wow. Well, a lot of people asked me some very interesting questions, about Ask Me Anything.
Oh,
So
sure.
I was
Yeah.
going to read one I thought was really interesting. And this one came into my email because somebody I had done a reading for. And I'll just say her first name is Marion. So, Marion, this is for you because I thought this was a real interesting one. And if anybody else has had this situation, please speak up now. I'd like to
Mhm.
know. But her question was this. I thought this was so fascinating, John. Maybe this has happened to you. This has not happened to me, but I know other people that this has happened to. She said she was in her living room and she was heading to the kitchen. And when she rounded the corner to the hallway, she said, I was startled by an image standing in my running shoes, in her running shoes. It was only for a few seconds, and I was very scared and startled. I think the image was me. She said,
Mm,
is that even possible? I always put my running shoes in the same spot in the front hallway, so they couldn't have been out of place. Can you see yourself as an image? And if so, how and why? Yes, you can. Yes, you got ahead of yourself there on that one. Literally,
mhm.
you got ahead of yourself.
Wow.
I mean that has happened. I've heard this from several people actually. I've never had the
Really?
experience. Yeah, you've not heard that one, John?
No.
Oh, it's really wild. It's our soul is has already done that. And it's like, oh, like deja vu? It's like a
Sure,
deja
I was
vu
just thinking
moment.
deja vu,
It's
yeah.
like a deja vu,
Only you're the
only
observer outside of
and it
your.
happened ahead. Your
Wow.
soul it's like went one or two beats ahead.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that ought to tell you, really, Miriam, that, we're much bigger than the body here. This
Sure.
is a we're big souls that have all kinds of interesting experiences, and that is a really good one for you to validate that your soul is wildly exists, and is just a skip or two ahead. That's a
Yeah.
fabulous one, though.
It makes you wonder. I mean, Ardelia's mentioning, can we do a session on parallel worlds and lives? Remember we had talked about
We
doing that?
really need to do that. Let's make a
Yeah.
note of that. Parallel lives. Yeah, I have to find it somebody that's really good that will speak on it for us because I think that's
Yeah.
a great idea. Parallel lives,
Yeah. And
and
we've
that's
been
the
talking
idea
about
that we're.
that
Yeah,
off
I mean
and
that's
on.
we have
Yeah.
talked about it often. I mean that's the idea
Mhm.
that we are living in other lives that parallel to
Simultaneously.
yeah
Yeah.
simultaneously.
I like to think of it like there's a record that's playing. If you go back to the days of the record, right? And there's grooves in the record, right? With all
Hmm.
different songs, and then, but the needle is the current lifetime, but it's
Mm.
your all the other grooves are versions of yourself. Does that make sense? And you can jump
Hmm.
and back and forth between.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
So I think they
Yeah.
call that quantum jumping. Yeah.
Ah.
And they're doing research right now on black holes, and they're finding crazy stuff that they never knew existed about black holes and the behavior of black holes. So it makes you
Wow.
wonder what is going on with this dimension that, that we're
It
currently tuned
does.
into. Yeah,
Hmm.
it
It
makes you
does. It
wonder.
really does, doesn't it? Because it does
Mhm.
feel like there's other things involved here.
It does, and I
That
know
are.
that movie, What the Bleep. You
Hmm.
remember the movie What the Bleep Do
Oh,
We Know?
very well. Very
That
well.
yeah, that movie was what really opened my eyes to the observer,
Mm.
like the soul's the observer. And that's what popped in my head when you mentioned Mare had that situation where she saw herself like outside of herself. That's really
Yeah. Other
interesting.
people have had that experience. I think you're just a beat or two ahead, but
Yeah,
it's fascinating. So thank you for that one. I thought that was
yeah.
great. So here's another one, and this one is from BB Nelson. I like your name, BB. That's a great name, BB. I used to call my daughter that when she was a baby, BB. I have another question. She said, when I was a young girl, I was sitting outside with my dad. All right, sitting outside with her dad. She said, I
Mhm.
had my hand in the air and I was looking at my aura. So that's when you kind of go like this and you could see the outline of your
Sure.
hand. She said, I looked away and I felt an energy hit the middle of my finger. I jumped back surprised. My dad happened to turn around at the same time and he said he actually saw a hand reach down and touch mine. Oh, I love this. I've
Hmm.
always wondered what that could have been. Even going to bed that same night, I felt the energy in my hand and finger. Thank you. Well, it's got to be your spirit guides. I would say it's an angel or spirit guides. It's an angel or a
Mhm.
spirit guide that was just trying to get your attention. Could have been just flat out an angel there.
Mhm.
It could have been. Um, I mean, that's such a great one. And before I get to June's remark, I really want to say, BB, that's
Sure.
something that you will never forget. That was a real connection with the other side, and I would say it was with an angel. I would say a very
Mhm.
high up, that or a guide that really wanted to get your attention.
Yeah.
Wow, how fabulous! How fabulous! That's
Mhm.
great. So June says, because of your show, I started therapy over a month ago. Go you.
Yeah.
All going back to my childhood, of course. Thank you. I'm on quite a journey. I tell you what, June, it does begin there, doesn't it? Sometimes
Yeah.
it ends there.
Yeah.
Begins and ends. With how the parents, could have
Sure.
done some damage there. You know. Um,
If anything, that should be a reminder to treat kids with the utmost
uh,
love, compassion, respect, and
yeah,
allow them to feel their feelings, because otherwise it gets stuck somewhere, and then we end up having to
yeah.
relive it in adulthood.
Well,
Our
that's
inner child
true.
acting out. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also, you want to keep them safe.
Mhm.
Children have to be safe.
Yeah.
And whenever anybody comes to see me and they say, and Shirley and I laugh about this all the time, they'll say, "Oh, Mo, tell us about your childhood." And they'll say, "Oh, my childhood was great. The greatest parents." Okay. Moment I hear greatest parents, I go, ding, 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 ding. Some red flag there. Something's under the hood there. You just know it.
Yeah.
And then later on it'll be like, "Well, yes, I was molested by my brother." I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's uh, Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, Shirley and I are
Well,
just
well,
stunned by
people
that one.
they stuff it, right? And
Yes.
then and they don't want and they don't deal with it, and then they're like, "Oh, well, I guess you are bringing up something," and then boom, then it comes out. Yeah.
Well, what happens is the belief system is set up in the family that this is normal. This
Yeah.
is we are this family. This is our
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden one day you're walking down the road and you're talking to somebody and you hear them say something and it kind of hits a memory in you and you think, "Oh, did that happen in my family? Wait a minute."
Mhm.
And then you start thinking or something happens out of the blue that says, "Wait a minute, maybe that wasn't normal."
Right.
And by the way, what is a normal family? I really don't know because I did not come from one, so I really don't know. And everybody I work with, every single person, there's not one quote normal family in the bunch. I don't
Yeah.
even know what a normal family, if that ever existed. I think that, so many people had so much traumas, and they
Sure.
just had family. Then the next one, they had a family, and the family, just like what Carrie
Mm,
Gonia talks about with family
right.
constellation, and you carry the traumas from the
Sure.
family through each lifetime until somebody steps in to say, okay, enough. I'm going to
Yeah.
deal with this. And that's off. I think that's what we're seeing now more than ever. I think that's why therapy is a good place to start with. To know thyself, to see what you can let go of, to see what you can forgive. And these astrological aspects right now are going to bring up old family
Mhm.
dramas. I'll tell you that. Old family dramas, shit comes up during this Mars retrograde. You wait. Wendy
Uh,
says our society makes mental health taboo when it should be normal. Right on, Wendy. My
yeah.
mom was a psychologist in the 60s and a female one. In those days, do you know it was only almost all men that were therapists? Did you know that?
No?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. Back in the 60s.
Mm.
And anyone that says they had a normal family is not telling the truth. Right on, Ardelia. Right on. There's no such, I just find it hard to believe.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, they'd have to be such an awakened family. I find it hard to believe,
Oh,
actually.
this is really interesting. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, because they were on a bit of a delay. Yesterday, I wanted to take a brief rest, so I laid on the couch. I didn't feel like I slept, but a half an hour later, I got up and felt like I was in an alternate universe. The feeling persisted all the rest of the day until this morning when I was back in my normal universe. Very strange feeling.
Wow, Lislot, what is a
Yeah,
wild name? I like your name.
yeah.
That's a great name. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but isn't that something? This is the
Mhm.
kind of energy. It makes me wonder if people are somewhat ahead of
Mhm.
themselves or
Yeah.
leaving maybe not in the body grounded right now because the
Right.
energies are so intense. And I think we're
Mhm.
on to something. Thank you
I
for
think so
writing.
too. Yeah. I've been
That's
feeling
really
that. I
interesting.
feel like you never know when you close your eyes where you're gonna wake up. I
It's the
mean,
truth. It's the truth. Yeah.
your reality might be somewhat the same, but you wake up to all kinds of text messages and things that happen while you were asleep that alter your universe when you wake up a lot of the time. You know
I
what I
never
mean?
thought about that, but you're right. Oh, I get hit all the time with
Yeah,
messages. Kind of like I do triage every day with my text, honestly, because
I
it's
hear you.
my energy versus the text. I'm like, what can I deal with today?
Yeah,
Oh, I can deal with this one. I can't deal with that. I mean, that's how I have to
right. Eve
view my life,
yeah.
actually.
That's why they say you never reach for your phone as soon as you wake up, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I make my hot tea with ginger and lemon, and I still use my Christmas cup. I've been using it forever, and that's like my normal routine. Then I
That's a good
meditate.
self-care regimen.
It's
Yeah,
my I
yeah.
meditate. Then I have my green drink, and then I'm ready to look at my phone.
Face the day. Yeah.
Face the day, and sometimes
Mhm.
like today was a big one. I got a lot of blow ups in that one today, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, golly, what a day. But
That's so true,
anyway,
Debbie. Our souls must be like, "What the heck? Let's be gone," rather than present in this dimension right now.
okay,
Exactly. It's
that's
the ostrich in the
hysterical.
sand.
That's hysterical and probably accurate. Probably accurate. Our souls know what's going on. And
Yeah.
so they're ahead of us,
And I've mentioned many times, I think that when we're sleeping and we're getting a lot of rest, we're required over on the other side to be doing whatever we're doing over there and then bringing it back here.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. I mean, I don't think
Oh,
this
yeah.
sleep is always a trauma response, even though it is to a certain extent. I mean, a lot of people are exhausted sleeping. Their adrenals are overtaxed, right? Because of all of the trauma that we're experienced with COVID. It's
Right.
and just the the new reality is the best word I can use for it. Not the new normal, but the new reality that we're living in.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
that. The new reality. You're right. I guess
yeah,
it's a new normal, but new reality that we're in.
yeah. Because
The
there's really nothing
reality.
normal about it.
There's nothing
You
normal
know?
about it, but the
Yeah,
reality that we are in is in intense reality.
yeah.
And maybe this is why our souls are wanting to go ahead and
Hmm.
hurry it up.
Sure.
Let's just get this show over. It's like, no, you can't. You have to take your time with this show.
Uh,
It's a real push and pull feeling. And I think we're going to feel this exaggerated feeling for some periods of time, like keep weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
yeah.
I know we're all going to get through this. We're all going to get through this. And I want to read this because I think this is interesting. Debbie Foster Horan says, my 81-year-old stepfather kept having reoccurring dreams last night about COVID the entire night, and he never dreams.
Yeah.
His date of birth is 6/30, 1939. Well, let's see this. Let me say this about that. Oh, bless his heart. You King of Hearts. He really comes in to feel everybody's pain as a father. So it may be that he's just very anxious. I mean, this
Hmm.
could be, that he's just anxious because maybe he's watching the news too much. Maybe he's watching, and that is something you have to really monitor what you want to watch, what you don't want to watch. How
Hmm.
much can you take? Sometimes I can bear it, sometimes I just can't bear it. You have to think like that. And if he was born in 1939, how old does that make him, John? I'm bad with math, but his birth date was right between the two eclipses. So his energy would be feeling. We had a big eclipse mid June, and then the other one on July
So
5th.
it's 81, right around that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she says my 81-year-old.
Yeah.
I think I
And he's
already
very
left.
sensitive, she
And
says.
he's sensitive. Oh, bless
Hmm.
his heart. Yeah. Yeah, because he comes in as the father. And I just tell him, just keep him calm if you can. You know, he's probably really sensitive to energy too.
And people are dreaming more so now. We're
Oh,
hearing so much about that, right? I mean, just
yeah.
taking the pulse of the community, like the crazy dreams that people are having. What I mean by crazy, it's just like the surreal and very vivid and intense, as we've used many times, dreams. And
Right.
is it because we're processing a lot of
A lot of what's going on.
emotions, right, in the
Hmm.
dream state? Yeah.
Yeah, we are. That's
Mhm.
really what we're doing. And also the veil's very thin now on the other side. And the
Yeah.
veil's thin. And so because they're wanting to help us and we're getting a lot more help on the other side than we have before actually.
Mhm.
So they all understand what we're going through, you know.
Yeah.
Can you find the comment, John? Somebody wrote on the I don't know where it is, but somebody wrote about a dream they had with a grandmother about wearing a gold um uh not a cape, like a gold not a gold outfit.
Just in this
It
session or before the
it
show?
was for this one, for this
Okay.
session. Oh, it was before the show. I
Okay.
received a text. I got an email from it. No, it
Oh,
wasn't an
wow.
email. No, I didn't get an email. It was a comment that was made.
Okay.
I don't know if you can find it. It was about somebody who said that their grandmother, in their dream state, saw them wearing a gold, not an outfit, it was something like that. And I did want to address that.
Okay.
And the
I'll
reason I
look it
wanted
up.
to address that, and I wish I had it with me, and I just don't have it unless you can find it, John.
Yeah, I'll look
But
for it.
it really has meaning. So whoever I can't, I'm sorry, I apologize in advance that I can't remember what this was exactly, but it was about a gold, something very important that they were wearing that was gold.
Okay.
And the grandmother who had passed came to her and told her this. And what I wanted to share with everybody was about 5 years ago, I had a dream where my grandmother came to me. And I hadn't seen my grandmother passed away 40 something years ago. But when she came to me, she said she couldn't come through the matrix. She did hug me, but it was through a matrix, which was really interesting. And we're kind
Mm.
of imagine a matrix like a spider web almost. And she, didn't want to get involved in the karma here, and
Mhm.
as souls would not really want to if they've been gone a long, long time. And she's been gone 40 years, for goodness sakes. And I don't blame her, even though I was the favorite grandchild. So I said to her, "Oh, Grandma," I said, "I'm a medium now. Am I supposed to be doing this?" And she said, "Well, I really can't answer that because she couldn't get involved in my karma here, one way or the other." So and then she said, though, "But you are wearing a purple robe," and that's I said purple, and I was kind of floored by that. So
Yeah,
purple is a sign for medium or psychic or really
sure.
medium, I think. And gold, and this is what this woman had written. It was about a gold robe she was wearing, and that the grandmother saw. So I would say that you come in gold robes or teachers, spiritual teachers,
Mhm.
and they really are old souls. So if you're wearing a gold robe in a dream that your grandmother's pointing that out to you, you're very special here. There's a special situation going on
Yeah.
with you in your um, ascending to everything that you're learning here in this dimension. So bravo. So I had to say that. I
So
wanted
it's
to.
Mary. She said I messaged you. It was actually Mother
Oh,
Teresa,
Mother Teresa. Oh, even bigger.
and she said she had a gold cloak on and a visit. Yeah.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I misinterpreted that a bit. So she saw Mother Teresa. That's
Yeah.
a
Let's see if I can
huge
find.
deal.
She
That's
goes,
a
I
huge.
yeah, it sounds crazy to say Mother Teresa, but she left me with no doubt. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh, Mary, were you that's just a phenomenal. Are you a Catholic? And if you are, was Mother Teresa important to you? Because that was a huge visit. And are you doing something with your life that is spiritual on the
Mm,
on that bent that Mother Teresa did? I mean, that's a big deal to have Mother
mhm.
Teresa come to you wearing a gold cloak. It has
Yeah, she's
meaning to it.
Catholic.
Yes, Catholic.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Mary, that is some sort of very important visit. I
Yeah.
would look everything up. Oh, and Celeste says that she always sees purple robes. I'm telling you, the purple robe is a big deal.
Yeah.
And a gold robe is a big deal. But and the fact that Mother Teresa, there you go, is a teacher and she's a highly advanced soul, highly advanced. Hi,
Mhm.
Tammy. She dreams of lots of visitations for everyone. Yeah, there
Mhm.
are a lot of in dreams, that's where the visitations come from. But I love that one with Mother Teresa. I would look up
Yeah.
everything I could about her and maybe start to live that life. She did come to you. Years ago, after the Pope Paul, I think it was, the one that everybody liked, when see, I'm not Catholic, but he when he died, about 3 days later, he I had a dream of him in a dream. And he was wearing a red robe. I'm like, "What?"
Mhm.
And he had a no, wait, was it a white robe, a red robe, and a red cap, and his head was bald, and here's what he did. He opened up the cap, and I got to see all this light pour out of his brain. And then
Wow.
later after that, they named him I think a saint. Yeah, John Paul II. Yeah, that was the
Mhm.
one, Pope John Paul II. I'm like, "Why me?" I have no idea because and I had zero to do with any of
Yeah.
that. But I thought that was an interesting thing. Maybe he just, I mean, I don't know. I was lucky I got to see that. But it really meant something to me because I used that experience as this guy really was full of light. I mean, I got to see all that light.
Yeah,
So,
this is a good question. So Kim is saying, I'm wondering when you charge your crystals in a full moon, does it still work if it's a super cloudy night and no moon is visible?
okay. So, Kim, I think you were the one. Kim, were you the one that wrote about flowers the other
Yeah.
day? It was you. Oh my
Yeah.
God, you're so sweet. How you were at Trader Joe's and you thought about me and you bought some flowers because if I could do it, you could do it. I
I
thought
picked
that was
this
like
background for you too because I know
I
you're mentioning
love
flowers, so I
it.
went with intergalactic flowers.
I loved it. It's perfect, and it goes perfect with all of this.
Yeah.
And so, Kim, I loved that you wrote that. I did catch that when I was briefly reading everything on last Friday with James. That was really fun. Um, and so, what was it, John, about the crystals in the moon? If it, oh yeah, I had a terrible. We didn't see the moon last night. I said, how's
Yeah.
that possible? It's this big full moon. It makes no sense. Yes, and it does still work. I just thought it was weird too. I couldn't see Mars either. That's kind of alarmed
Yeah.
me. Because it's a red planet. I couldn't see anything. Couldn't see the moon or Mars, but for some reason I was able to see Saturn. Probably not a good omen either. Um, yeah, it was a super cloudy night. Was it cloudy in Los Angeles too, John?
I didn't go out to look,
Oh,
so I'm not
okay.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was very interesting.
I was in a virtual world at the time. So,
Oh, okay. Well, in your virtual world, I hope it's nice, sunny, and always happy.
oh yeah, yeah.
So,
Wow.
should we take some calls, or
Yeah,
are
let's get
there
the calls
comments, or
going.
what would you
Yeah.
like to do?
So, folks, I'm gonna put up the phone number to
Oh,
call in,
and people had put
and
their birthday out, and I don't, for
yeah,
some reason, it didn't transpose over here. John,
yeah,
under the comments.
yeah. They're coming in from 3 different locations. We've
Oh,
got them coming in from your page, from Both
mm,
Sides Now TV page, and from um, YouTube channel.
oh,
So, yeah, but I'm really only seeing right now more of the Facebook comments, though I do see a couple from
okay.
right here. Yeah, so Jason from
Oh,
YouTube is saying daughter coming with a lot of hand signals and dreams lately.
oh, and Jason wrote a lovely book about his daughter. We'll have to have him on our show. He did a great book for his lovely daughter who passed away a few years ago. Um, and I'm sure she's giving you lots of signals, Jason.
Uh-huh.
She's a very powerful soul there. Yeah, very sweet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then let's see here. Okay, so Dina from YouTube is saying moving is so important to keep our vibration high.
Yeah, you're right, Dina.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Any kind of movement that you can do now is going to just help everybody stay grounded and let go of the energy that we don't need. So it's going to
Kathy's
be
watching from
both.
YouTube.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Kathy.
So we want to
Yay.
make sure we get our YouTube watchers as well because I think people were having some issues with Facebook earlier and they went to
Oh,
YouTube. So they're
oh,
they're watching right
okay.
now. So that's good. Yeah, so let's
Good.
go ahead. I have the phone number up, so you want to go ahead and give us a
Okay.
call. I'm starting to see calls come in, so let's get to our first caller, all the way from Illinois right now, area code 847. Can we have your name, please?
Hi, this is Magdalia. How are you doing today?
Hi there. Hi. What a great name. How can we help you today?
Thank you. Well, today is my 32nd wedding anniversary,
Wow.
but the first one without the husband. He passed away in April.
Oh, honey, I'm
And
sorry
I
you lost your
really
husband.
think
Oh, I got chills. He's definitely
he
around you. I want to say happy anniversary. He looks like a saintly kind of a guy, actually. I think he's enjoying this, and wanting you to know that you did everything you could for him. Everything, he said. You must be some sort of a
well, thank
saint.
you.
Are, are you there?
I am
Are you,
here.
okay. Okay.
I didn't. Okay, yeah, no, it cut up.
You had a what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now John, I can barely hear.
Yeah, I can barely hear her too. I know.
If
This
you
is
could
what the
speak up a little
yeah.
louder. I know that he's celebrating your anniversary
Absolutely.
together, okay? And he did not want to go.
Great, thank you.
But he's there with you. And I'm sorry that he's not physically present, but I want to say that he is. And he's talking about a present because every year he gives you a certain present. Every single year, if it's the same set of flowers, the same set of something, he's got it right there.
Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
flowers.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a constant. It's a
thank
constant. It's a
you.
constant. Kind of reminds me of my husband. He's a constant. It's a with you can bet on that he's going to be doing that. I like this energy. I like this man. I think you had a lot of fun with him, and I
Oh,
want you to know that he's telling me to tell you, "Oh, I love her so much. Please make sure that she." I've got chills everywhere. Boy, he's not going to leave you alone for your anniversary. You've got to be kidding me. There's no way. Not this one. He wants you to be happy. He wants you to know that he's with his mother. Something happened with his mother. He's there.
well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care of yourself. He loves you so much.
All right.
Okay?
All right. Thank
Oh,
you, guys.
you
You have
bet.
a great rest of your day.
You
You
too.
Thank you
too.
for making mine special.
Oh,
You got it. Thanks for
welcome.
calling in.
Hey, Carolyn.
They
Well,
never forget their anniversary. I got chills. He's not going away. It's like he's got the mic and that's it.
yeah.
Sometimes that happens. It's the funniest thing. Um, I forgot what I was going to say about that. Oh, they never miss their anniversaries
Oh, wow.
ever.
Okay.
Did you know that? Oh,
No.
They don't miss their anniversaries. Always.
Anniversaries or birthdays or any or
Birthdays, anniversaries, they don't miss it.
okay.
Especially the first one. They don't miss any of them. They always remember this. They always do. It
Yeah.
doesn't fade. Love doesn't fade away. In those kind of cases, they know. They're very
Mhm.
present. They'll watch you make a cup of tea. They'll watch you make your coffee. They'll watch you make a toast. They're making a toast with you.
Mhm.
They're there with you. I'm sorry that they're not physically present, but I think he had to go. I think that one had to go before COVID. It was
Yeah.
something about that. And we'll see a lot of loss that has happened, but if they've left now, if they've left before, it's because they couldn't be here for this. They didn't sign up for this. And I say that a lot often, but they didn't sign up for this part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So just to remind folks when you call in, please do not be on speakerphone. Just hold the phone to your mouth and speak clearly, and then we can hear you better. Also, make sure you mute the audio in the background, whether that be Facebook or YouTube, because you'll be connected directly to us and there won't be a delay. Okay. All right. So let me get to our next caller.
Oh,
We have
and
area
and
code.
before you do that, while you're just about, hold on a second. I just
Yeah.
want to answer this.
Sure.
Ardelia asked that I mentioned on Monday night that some full moons aren't very good to clean crystals, and that's true. Some are heavily aspected, and they're just not the best full moons. This one that we had Monday and Tuesday was actually a much better one.
Mm,
Okay, so
okay.
that's the answer to that. Just sometimes they're just in bad places.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask that. Okay, I'm ready to go. I'm sorry.
Got it. Okay. No worries. All right. So let's go to North Carolina. It looks like area code 828. Can we have your name, please?
Cat.
Hi, Kat. How are you? How can we help you?
I'm good, Kelly. How are you?
Oh, that was a
We're
quick
making the
one.
best of it,
We're
Kat.
making the best of it.
Yeah.
I'm actually good. I'm fine. Thank
Um,
you.
good. My question is with the Mars and Aries, and
Hmm.
I'm aware that Mars energizes things,
Hmm.
but Chiron is in Aries, and Chiron is
Hmm.
healing.
And it's
Can
retrograde right
we
now.
do anything to maybe enhance that?
Great question. Well, Mars in should say Chiron is the wounded healer, and it is retrograde right now in Aries. And that means Aries is what about me? It's all about me. And Chiron, the wounded healer that's in retrograde, is really in Aries, is about taking care of yourself. So this is really a time to put your own oxygen on first and take care of everybody else second. So you must take care of yourself. Anybody that
Right.
with Chiron, so many of us are affected by this that are healers
Yeah.
right now. And so we're the ones that are a little more sensitive or emotional or feel things more or actually work in the healing field. And we have to really watch our energy because with this Mars retrograde, it's going to focus very intensely. And our first, for empaths out there, it's always been, oh, we're the first to help. Oh, we'll help. And Chiron
Mhm.
Yeah.
retrograde says the following.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Sister Sue, hold on. Let's get your oxygen mask. How are you feeling? Let's take your temperature before you just jump out. And that's what this push pull energy is.
So
Because
the
again,
Chiron
Okay.
is reminding
mhm,
us for self-care during these.
self care.
Okay.
That's it. And again, as an
Mhm.
empath and with this Mars like hovering down, like really going to be intense,
Mhm.
our first thing is, oh, somebody's going to need help. And oh, it might be me. So I have to put my own oxygen on first. And that's the way everybody needs to think
Mm.
for right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Great
So stay
question.
focused
Thank you.
on that self care.
Self care. Self care.
And you know me, I'm constantly reminding everybody in the group about that one. So
Yeah, you actually are.
Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's super important. We
Yeah.
always say self-care is not selfish; it is a necessity.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
It,
so
it
it's
it really
Right.
is a necessity. And
Yep.
it's so
mhm.
important that you said that, especially for empaths out there, because
Yeah,
we often are selfless, and then
it's
we get
like for
resentful if we're taking
mhm.
care of other people and we're not taking care of ourselves.
Yep.
And, that's why, like on a Sunday, I
Yeah,
take
we
the day
can't
off.
help
I
with
don't
it.
think about anything. I just can't. Because if you don't ground yourself with your own healing, you're not worth anything. You got to take care of yourself because you
Yeah, you can't
exist.
do anything for anybody else if you're not
Right.
at your
You exist.
maximum.
That's
Mhm.
very true. Thanks
Great.
for
Thank you,
calling.
Kelly.
Oh, thank you. Um,
Yeah, it's
What
good to
is
hear from you, Kat.
yeah. And then Tanya says, I threw my back out 2 weeks ago and have been in so much pain since then. I know on a deep level this injury has manifested like this for me to heal something. I just don't know what. Well, if you threw your back out, you've taken on too much. So maybe I start to have a real awareness of what maybe you have been doing. Have you been taking care of too many people? Have you taken on too much? A back represents taking on too much. We're going to see a lot
Mhm.
of backs go out during this period, and a lot of shoulders I've noticed are going out.
Yeah. Hmm.
So you want to really want to take care of yourself. Everybody needs to take care of themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so we do have the call lines open if you want to call in. Appreciate you calling in. That way we're connected to you directly. 213-893-4464. Again, 213-893-4464. We're about 45 minutes in right now, so we have a
Yeah.
couple minutes
And
to take some calls.
Connie says, what about a white robe? What does a white robe mean? A white robe often are really the ancient ones. Whenever I do a reading and it's a guide reading and the guides come through and the energy automatically kind of goes like this. I don't know how to explain it other than it just kind of goes like this. And they're ancient. When I see white robes, I see ancient ones, ancient guides, ancient, ancient, old,
Mm,
old, old beyond our comprehension. I just call them the ancient ones. And Connie says, when I was 2, I saw a woman in my room. She wore a white robe. What does a white robe symbolize? So an ancient one, and I would say she was your guide, Connie. And how lucky that you could remember that. Again, whenever I see a white robe, it's an ancient guide.
mm,
Wendy says, I explained to my son how to connect with my father, his grandfather. He never met him by thinking about the photos he's seen and trying to find him in his dreams. Absolutely.
mm,
Often, I never met one of my uncles, and he came to me when I was about 6. I think I've probably shared this story. Came to me, I was 6 or no, I think I was about 8, but I had never met this guy. And he came to me, and it wasn't even in a dream. He just appeared. And he said, go tell your mother that to call her daddy, that his brother died.
mm,
And I remember that really well. And I went, what? And I wasn't afraid. That's the weirdest part. I should have been
mm.
terrified.
Yeah.
I was more afraid of my dad getting mad because if I went in to wake him up, my dad was a musician and he slept, like this is like
Right.
I don't even know what time this was in the middle of the night. I was a kid, I
Yeah.
was a baby, I was like 8. So I dutifully went in. And the weirdest thing happened when I went in. I kind of startled my mother, and she
Mm,
she said, "What's going on?" And I said, "Well, this man told me." "This man told you what?" "This man told." "Come here." So she takes me out of the room, and I tell her what happened. And it turned out it was her uncle who had died.
mm,
And I didn't know him. But so the reason I say this story is they come to you, whether they can, who they are or not, they'll still come to you.
mhm.
So Donita says her date of birth is 7/27. What am I supposed to be doing? I'm disabled now, but used to care for everyone in the family. Now I can't, which upsets them. Oh, okay. Well, you come
It's your
in.
time now, Donita.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
John, I was just going to say that it's your time now. You're
Yeah.
an ace of clubs, and an ace of clubs comes to learn everything. So maybe now the time is you're learning to take care of you. Because
Mhm.
we none of us miss a step here. Well, we try not to miss a step. And if we've always taken care of others, there'll be a time when we have to learn to take care of ourselves. And especially as we were just talking about with
Sure.
Chiron
Sure.
retrograde right now,
Mhm.
um, this I'm sure it upsets everybody, but you're setting boundaries that you have to take care of yourself now. That's really Ace of Clubs comes to learn everything about everything. They want to learn, they want to experience, and they also have to take care of themselves. And often, Donita, they'll have a very, very difficult mother. What I've found a lot in
Mm,
Ace of Clubs, they come to learn. They're very psychic people, and they often have a very challenging mother. Sometimes a father too, or sometimes the father's abandoned the family. I've had that many times with this placement, but always the mother's the big
And they don't like to be
trouble.
alone, right? That's another
Well,
piece.
they come in to have a Ace of Clubs comes in to have a soulmate. Not everybody does, and
Mhm,
I know that people here kind of romanticize the soulmate, but it's some people really do come to have that experience, and
mhm.
Donita's would be one of them that would have come in to have that experience with it. Not everybody does.
And constant change and travel, it looks like as well.
Hmm.
Lots of
Yeah.
changes.
Oh, yeah. They're always moving. They have to try this, and they have to go try this, and they have to try this.
So inner restlessness then.
Always in inner restlessness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
It.
thank you, Danita, for asking that. Always good to see you in the group as well, sweetheart. All right, so we have another call that's pending. Let's go to our caller.
Okay.
Looks like I'm not sure where this caller is. Area code 314. Can we have your location and your name, please?
Hi, can you hear me good?
Yes, we hear you
Yes.
fine. Uh-huh.
Okay, this is Mary Edwards. I'm the one who messaged you with the dream of Mother Teresa of all things
All
to
right.
say out
That was
loud.
Yeah.
amazing.
Um, yeah, what I wanted to ask you was her message to me. It was kind of, I just wanted to see what you thought about it. It I can shorten the dream up for you really quickly. It was just kind of chaotic, and I lucid dream a lot, and all of a sudden she was sitting there, and she said, "Come here," and I didn't realize who it was at all. And then she whispered something in my ear that was in a completely different language, and I said, "I don't speak Italian because I'm Italian." It just had that kind of a, I'm not even sure if it was Italian.
Hmm.
And then she like was arm in arm all of a sudden with me, and like I was feeling her robes, and I could like, I don't know how to describe it, but like elbowed her hands were on my elbows, like we're arm in arm. I'm talking 3 inches from her face, and I could see like a lot of the wrinkles, like the classic Mother Teresa. And
Yeah.
she goes, right when I said, "But I don't speak Italian," she looked right in my like eyes, and I was in her eyes, and she said, "But you do speak Teresa." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "What?"
Mm.
And I
Oh
was just
my gosh. Well,
flat,
that was a huge visit trying to
stunned.
get your attention. Do you help other people? Do
Yeah.
you follow her? Have you read
Oh,
all
yeah.
about her?
I love her.
Okay.
I've just always, I was raised Catholic and in a Catholic school, and I was always the kid in religion class with their hand up and was basically told to quit asking so many questions in first grade. And, I was like pretty much that kid that, got in trouble all the time for talking too much or
Mhm.
asking too many questions. And
Well, that
and I
that
know
was
she was
definitely a
interested in the church
visit.
for a long time.
Well, that was
She
definitely a visit.
kind of
You had a
frowned upon.
visit. You had a big visit there.
Yes. Well, what her message was, but I wanted to run by you because she said, after she said, "But you do speak Teresa," and that's what stunned me silent. And like, I stared in her eyes, and she said, "Mary, I wish I could fill your soul with the essence of heaven." And I just started crying, and like, I'm getting emotional now. And she started crying, and I was like rubbing her robe, and it was like quilted like a quilt on your bed. It was like, but it was the softest thing I've ever felt. It reminded me of like
Let,
my newborn's hand when he had the silk of the womb. I don't know, something in the womb. I was
let me
just
ask
so
you
silky,
this.
and
Were
it was
you
like
were you having a
impossible.
difficult
I
time
can't even
before?
describe it.
Were you having a difficult time before this? Did she come to you in a time of a crisis?
Definitely,
Okay.
it's a earth shattering time for all of us. It has been. So
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I know. I'm like, Mother Teresa just gave me a visit, so
Yeah.
I mean,
That tells
yeah.
me everything.
I mean,
You had a visit, you had some, she wants you to she wants you to know she's there for you. She's definitely be a guide for you. And I would definitely, start talking with her and opening that dialogue and knowing how special that moment was with you. That she did give you a glimpse of heaven. That doesn't happen to everybody. That's
that's
fantastic.
amazing.
Amazing. In time of crisis. Mother Mary comes to me. Didn't Paul, what's his
That
name? Right?
song, yeah, Let It
Didn't
Be.
write us Let It Be.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
And it was so, I can tell you how confirmative it was after that, but it was just like, your mortal mind wants to doubt it.
Yeah,
And
no.
it's hard to say it out loud because I know people, oh yeah, right, you think, but
Oh
like,
no, that happened. It
confirm
happened. I love it. I'm thrilled.
solid.
Thank you for sharing it with us. Really, it's a great gift.
Yes.
Go with God.
You're
Go with Mary on
You're
that one.
welcome.
Thank you.
Now, this was
Hi.
Mother Teresa, correct?
Yeah, Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wow.
And my middle name's Teresa. My name
Oh,
is
there
Mary
you go.
Teresa, so
There you
Yeah.
go.
my dad
Okay.
prayed for a nun.
That's funny. Well,
We
thanks for
didn't get
calling,
one,
honey.
but
That's okay. You're a saint in our book.
Well, thanks for calling in, Mary.
Yeah.
thank
Appreciate
you.
you.
Sweet.
Wow.
Thank you. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Well, we're
Thanks,
about
John.
5 minutes to go, and then we're gonna have to call it
It
a.
is? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I've got 5 o'clock here.
Oh well, I
I mean,
guess it's
my
'cause
time.
we started late. It's
Oh,
5:50. Yeah, I see 55 here. So you're right. I guess we can call it.
yeah.
Because we started,
Unfortunately, I
and
have
I've got
clients I
people
have to
calling me like
see
crazy
now.
while we're on.
People are calling you right now?
All the James people are calling me
Oh, I know.
on
Well, let's tell
the
everybody
air.
what you're doing right now.
Yeah. So after this, we'll be doing the animal communication part 2. So you guys can check that out, vanprog.com, and yeah, we're going to part 2 of the animal communication course
And
or
that's, I think, Michael
workshop.
Tamura. Michael
Yeah.
Tamura, right? Yeah. He's a really
Yeah.
sweet guy. Really sweet, and his wife. So I'm not going to be on there, but because I've got to work now. But
Yeah.
and then John and I and Shirley will not be here next week because
It's Labor
it's
Day.
Labor Day, but we're taking the week off. Do you know why? I will tell you. Because I have to get my continuing education classes. I have to get a certain amount of units, 36 to be exact, before my birthday. So I'm halfway done, but it does take some time. So I have to devote myself to that and
Yeah.
finishing my book. I will be finished this week. Send me good energy for that because that I need. I've got to finish it and I'm almost done with it. So that's why we're taking this week off. But we'll miss everybody and hope everybody has a safe Labor Day. Don't go do something stupid. Be safe.
Yeah, and I'll try to host something with the group,
Okay.
at some point. So just keep watching the group for our Zoom announcement, and we'll
Perfect.
we'll do a holding space event, because I know when we're taking time off with the show,
I know.
there's a lot that goes on and
There's a
people need
lot that goes
support.
on, and I
Yeah,
know that this is
yeah,
right when Mars retrograde appears.
sure.
And what can I say? I have to put my own. I have to
I
take care
get
of
it.
myself with this.
Of course you
And
do.
we have
Yeah,
a great guest on the 14th. We have a great guest on the 14th, Heidi. That's going to be so much fun with her new book. And we have some great guests coming
and if
up.
you
We've got
missed our great guest on Monday, that was our wonderful Tammy Hendricks,
our
and she's
Tammy
going to
girl.
be in part 3 of the animal communication
Yay,
workshop that's
Tammy.
coming up. So
Yeah.
be sure to get a preview of that with going back and watching the archive video of Tammy that's on our YouTube channel. And also, our Facebook page has changed a bit now, so you can find the videos a lot easier. So
Hmm.
if you're noticing, there's been some
Yeah.
changes, and Facebook's rolling out all kinds of changes. So things are going to keep changing. But
Yeah.
watch the Facebook page for the archive videos as well if you aren't familiar with our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, John. Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody. And we'll
Cal.
see everybody in about a week
Take
or
care,
so.
everybody. Be good to each other
Bye.
and yourself. Bye bye.